All right, guys, another video on the Black Series. Actually, I have a few cool updates that I'm excited to share with everyone. I know you don't want to hear me talk too much. You just want to see the car. I know that, so I'm gonna keep it short and simple. About 5 weeks from now, you're gonna see something really special installed on this car. Possibly two things, but first, one thing. I decided to team up with Studio RSR, and they're a really amazing company that make roll cages, and they're actually one of the few with a proper reputation for sports cars. They make them out of either steel or chromoly. So what I'm having done to this car, some people might not like this, but some people will like it. So basically, the rear seats are gonna get deleted completely, and there will be a custom roll cage built for this car specifically for the Black Series. Being one of 77 in the US, I think it's gonna be looking great. Not only that, I'm a sucker for safety and things like that, and I do tend to speed sometimes on the highway. Roll cage is nothing, it doesn't do anything except provide safety and delete the rear seats. I'm going with the chromoly roll cage, which is gonna basically mean that it's lighter and stiffer than steel. And for me, if you don't know, I am a bit weight conscious, so it's pretty cool that I get a chromoly roll cage, and it's gonna look great, I think, because once you look at it from here, the roll cage is gonna be in red to match the red accents in the car, like the red stitching, red seat belts, red calipers. So it's gonna have the roll cage appear, and since it's a custom roll cage, I think it's gonna look really good, because it's not just like a simple roll bar that goes on in the back. It is not really a full roll cage. It doesn't, you're not gonna see it from the front, but it's not also your standard roll bar, which is just like 2 or 3 pieces. This one's gonna actually look really cool from the front and from the rear of the car. So yeah, that's one of the things that I'm gonna do to the car. The other thing that I'm debating, because for anyone that knows me knows that I love naturally aspirated engines. I'm like a sucker for them. So let's get the hood open. So yeah, what I wanted to debate actually, and I'm gonna ask for advice. Regardless, I'm gonna do what I like. I'm not really gonna do what other people like, but still, I think I would like to get car fans and like other people who are obsessed with cars like me to get your advice on something. Basically, I'm really considering a supercharger. Now these things can be bumped up to around 780, 790 horsepower. It will need a stage 2 or stage 3 supercharger over here. Only thing is, it will have that minimal supercharger whine. I just will have to get rid of this beautiful cover, which is the black badge that shows that it's a Black Series, and well, this is kind of the signature of the Black Series, which is a black badge, not silver. Yeah, and obviously this upper manifold here has to go, so basically a big supercharger will just sit over here with a little snout kind of poking out from here. Another thing I'm concerned about is that I've seen a few videos, some people completely remove this and just leave the supercharger snout. It's just, I don't like to expose the internals that are over there. I think it doesn't look as good. But what I've seen some people do is they kind of customized and cut the engine covers to kind of leave the snout a little bit without damaging the Mercedes logo and things like that. But yeah, I'll keep you guys posted with what I do with this car. For now, I'm just gonna drive it for a little bit and take you with me inside the car. So let's go. Okay, so I'm not gonna drive it too hard, but still I'm gonna give it a little kick here and there. And as always, I don't want to destroy my tires in one go, so bear with me. Yep. I love you. Yeah, like, do this in a Lambo 3 or 4 times. Let me know how many times you go to the dealer. I've done it before in a couple of cars, Gallardos and Huracans, and it's a nightmare. So I'm not bashing on Lambos, it's just I tell you they're more show cars than actual thrashing and having fun. This one, brutal, just brutal, raw German muscle. I mean, American muscle is cool but has that bad reputation. German muscle, you can't go wrong. I love American muscle, don't get me wrong, but I mean, we all know the Mustang reputation. I mean, I was considering buying a GT350R, but I still know if you're a Mustang owner, you know the reputation of the Mustang. If you're at any car show and you hear a Mustang revving or doing a burnout, everyone is scared for their life. That's a fact. So many leaves get stuck in here, and it's a nightmare to clean in the house because you really struggle to go in there and get these out. And they actually, look at that Black Series, especially with the carbon splitter. It's like a magnet for leaves, cigarette butts, and whatever it is. Insects, look at that, look at that. That's an insect, that's another insect, a bunch of insects everywhere. Another insect there. Yeah, so you get a lot of that. I posted a post on Instagram, and some people were like, it was literally 50-50. A lot of people were like, boost it, supercharge it, and a lot of people were like, no, naturally aspirated, it's a Black Series, don't touch it, leave it alone. This does have a tune, and this does have a one hell of an exhaust system that is literally one of one for this car, which is a titanium exhaust system made by Capristo, but also modified by us further. And pretty soon Eurofed Charlotte is gonna completely like, this is technically almost fully straight pipe, but it does have the front high flow cats, and they're gonna be gone pretty soon. So it's gonna get even louder. I don't know how that's possible, but that's actually gonna happen, and hopefully gain a little bit more power. I mean, the extra horsepower isn't needed, but it's just nice to have. Yeah, so this is the baby, you know. This car for me is really something so special. For those of you that don't know, I get asked a lot of questions because I do have, for example, I do have a 6-speed gated Lamborghini Murcielago, and I've been driving a few exotic cars here and there. Yeah, some of them are newer, some of them are bigger engine, like the V12. Some of them, I don't know, look, let's say, this one's just evil looking, but in terms of, I mean, let's say Lamborghinis, you have to admit the Murcielago has its own kind of flair, and it's just really sexy. It has, Lamborghinis tend to have like sex appeal. This one just looks like it wants to kill people and is angry, and people don't really understand it as much. But for me, from all the cars that I've driven, including in 2020, including things like GT3s and whatever, which I absolutely adore, by the way, I'm a big fanboy, nothing puts a smile on my face like this one. And I can't believe I'm saying it, because I adore driving manual gearboxes. For example, like the old GT3s, they're a pleasure to drive, but this engine with this chassis, with the way it is, even though the gearbox is not as up to date as the 2020 cars right now, and also we're going on 2021 pretty soon, this thing is from 2012, and I've driven things like AMG GTs, GTRs, and GTR Pros, and honestly, this thing really makes me smile, and I think it would make any car not smile too. It's a bit more tricky than BMW M cars. For the M fans here that are like, oh, Mercedes is shit, well, whatever, but I admit Mercedes, in general, BMW cars are much more controllable, but man, the Black Series for me is a whole nother story. Like, I would compare this to, for example, the BMW GTS, which is a phenomenal car to drive and everything, with its roll cage and all that. It looks kind of cool, kind of racy, but I don't know, nothing sounds like this, and nothing really makes you grin, but also makes you afraid like this. This does kind of scare you, especially when it's wet. I don't care if you have traction on, off, whatever it is. I personally drive with off, but even with traction on, it really struggles not to break traction. Yeah, you guys, anyways, I'm not gonna keep talking. You guys know how much I love this car. Amongst the other cars that I have, this one really holds a special place in my heart. And to be honest, if I do get a supercharger on the car, it'll definitely be through Wistek, because this car has basically all of the Wistek parts. As you can see, Here you have the oil air separator, you have here the, well, cap, and you're not going to be able to see them, but all the aluminum pulleys from Wistek are installed on this car, plus the larger oil pan that's installed on this car, things like that. So I'm just debating it. I've been in contact with Wistek. They're really cool people, and I have an awesome installer here that's ready to go at any time. It's just really up to me to kind of decide whether I want this thing to remain naturally aspirated or actually go for supercharged. Technically on paper it's around 600 something engine horsepower, not to the wheel right now, but I don't know. I think the idea of having it close to 800 is super tempting. This thing is already a monster as is. Even if it's not 600 horsepower, even if it's a little less, like I said, I don't really care. The power to the rear wheels in this thing is really brutal. And to be honest with you, I've driven a Wistek Stage 2 and Stage 3 supercharged C63 sedan. One was 2009, one was 2012. And honestly, I really do feel, I don't know if this is because it's lighter weight or because this is the Black Series and what they did here, but I did not really feel a crazy power difference. But I know that if the supercharger is put here, it will be a crazy power difference because this car is really light. And I've seen Wistek Stage 3 supercharged. They have a white C63 Black Series that's been supercharged Stage 3, and that thing is an absolute monster. So I really am a bit confused, let's say, to say the least, actually. So I decided anyone who kind of has a tip or an opinion on this, please actually leave it in the comments and I will read it and get back and see what people actually think of this. Because in general, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was just a quick little update on the Black Series. It's just to kind of let whoever was interested know what's kind of coming for this car and what's to be done and things like that. But yeah, with regards to the supercharger, I'm still not sure, and I'm gonna wait on that, see also what people think. I mean, it doesn't hurt. At the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I want. It's my car. You buy things, you do things for you, you don't do them for other people. But it's nice to hear an opinion, especially when you're extremely confused like I am. Like I just drove it now. It's a monster. It's an absolute beast. All that power to the rear wheels is incredible. I don't think I need more. I just thought maybe a supercharger would make it absolutely ludicrous, not insane, but next level. But again, it's not necessary. It's not a necessary thing. It's just something I wanted to do. Yeah, anyways, hope you enjoyed this video, and till next time.